Give the people what they want, 'cause I got it.
What's up, Magic fans? I'm OrlandoMagic.com's Dan Savage, joined by the Magic Audio Network's Chrissy Birdsall, and we're here to preview today's matchup between your Orlando Magic and the Memphis Grizzlies in Berlin. Chrissy, how you doing today, and how excited are you for today's matchup?
I'm ecstatic for today's matchup. Already looking in the chat and seeing some German going on. A Guten Tag. Dan, do you know what that means?
I do. I'm learning all the German words, basically as through Franz and Mo as they do, some of the name games and stuff that we've seen on Magic social media. That's been an educational experience for me. But Magic fans, today's game will be broadcast on FanDuel Sports Network at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, as well as nationally on Prime Video. So you're going to want to make sure to catch all that action. Chrissy, to get things started off, first of all, the most exciting part is that both Wagners are going to be able to participate in today's game. How excited are you to see the return of Franz take place in his hometown of Berlin?
Yeah, it was something we talked about yesterday on Magic Insiders as things were starting to come out throughout the week. I said it felt like you were reading the tea leaves a little bit. Sunday, you see Franz and Mo speaking together after the game, something that you don't typically see from a player that is injured. They go on travel. You see that Franz is on the main graphic promoting today's game. And just more and more information starting to come out. I believe it was David Steele was on 96.9 The Game on Tuesday and was saying that it felt like that return was coming very soon. Everybody, all signs were pointing to Franz Wagner coming back for today's game, and he wasn't going to miss this game for the world. Both him and Mo, it felt like even when they were down, they were building to come back for this game, and Mo able to come back, get a few minutes in, and that Sunday's win over the Pelicans. Now it's Franz's turn to make his debut tonight in Berlin, in his hometown. He wasn't going to miss it for anything else. So I'm excited to see it. I know the fans abroad, whether they're in Germany, whether they're in Orlando or anywhere else, they're excited to see him get back to action for the Orlando Magic.
No question. I want to make sure Magic fans at home know, Franz put in so much work to make this a reality, and it's just a testament of the type of player he is, his relentless work ethic to go about his business to make that happen. Chrissy, as you look at it, one of the storylines lost in this thing is that it's Desmond Bane's first game against his former team. Take us through, what you heard from Desmond and how amped you think he is for his matchup against his former squad.
Right, and you're exactly right. I feel like with all of the storylines going between Tristan da Silva going back to Germany, Franz and Mo playing in their hometown, a lot of people are forgetting that this is a game against the Memphis Grizzlies, who Desmond Bane played for as most recently as last year. For those of you who don't remember, he got traded on Father's Day, June 2025. Orlando trading Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, 4 unprotected first-round picks and a pick swap. And this was a huge trade at the time. I remember I was still working in Madison at the time, and we were covering this trade in our Madison station just because of the ramifications that it was going to have for the rest of that free agency period. And you saw Bane come in, he started a little bit slower, he was getting adjusted to the team, and he's really turned it on, especially in these last couple of weeks. So he's going into today's game, a bit of a revenge game for him. We didn't hear him too much this week in Berlin, just saying how excited he was, and more importantly, coming to Europe, coming to Germany, playing in the United Kingdom, as well as they will on Sunday, that he wants to come out of Europe with 2 wins, no matter who they're playing, no matter what.
Now you can't be more of a competitor than Desmond Bane. That guy eats, breathes, sleeps competitiveness, and his opportunity to go against his former squad. He said he was going to beat their behinds in more, colorful fashion than we will have on this screen. But Magic fans, as you know, Courtside Countdown presented by Hard Rock Bet is an interactive show, so we want to hear and answer all your questions. Make sure to fire them up on the chat, whether that's on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, etc. We're more than happy to answer them. Seeing some of the questions come in. Kyle Gaming saying Bane going off today for sure. Absolutely. I think it's going to be a big game for Desmond Bane today. He's going to be eager to take it at Jaren Jackson Jr., some of those other guys that he was used to playing against and put up some big numbers. And there may be a little bit more space for him, having guys like Franz, AB, Paolo, etc. around him, along with Wendell. That's not a lineup he's gotten too much experience with yet, and so having so many additional playmakers should help Desmond out as well.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see, especially with this team coming back fully healthy. That's another big storyline. Mostly fully healthy. No Jalen Suggs in today's starting lineup, but being able to have Franz and Mo back, obviously Paolo coming back as he's been able to play in the last 16 or so games as he's been getting more comfortable. That's going to be a huge thing coming into today. But yeah, taking a look at the comments, I do got to address this Luis Rosario comment. He did ask this last time of what exit I'm on the Jersey Turnpike. I'm not on the Turnpike. I actually am more off of the Garden State Parkway, right around exit 100. Just need to address that super quickly. But I saw one comment earlier on YouTube talking about the noise level predictions from Unlikely Jellyfish. And from what I've been seeing from social media, on the Magic Twitter, on just all these other Twitter accounts, is there are a lot of Magic fans in Germany, Dan. It seems like this is more of a Magic home game than it is a global game for both of these teams. So I want to know what you've seen maybe on your side of things, being in the Magic beat a little bit more, obviously seeing all of the stuff that's been going on. It looks like it could be a pretty pro-Magic crowd today.
Yeah, I've been waking up early to get content up that's being sent back from Germany up on our website and different networks, etc. So I've been seeing all the different folders with content coming in, people on the street freaking out for Tristan da Silva. Let's just say like our meme and fan folder has gotten much deeper as a result of this fan experience here. And, the six-man show's doing a fan meetup at a pub before the game. It looked like there were a ton of fans there. So this experience is going to be wild. I've heard that Mo and Franz together have bought over 200 tickets for friends and family for this game, in addition to the comp tickets that they got from the league and the Magic. So they're going to be rolling deep in there. And I have a feeling that the German pride for what they did for the national team and the FIBA experience and the Olympics, etc., is going to all come, full circle in this moment. And it's going to be a loud crowd. And you think about it, for Tristan, he's coming back to his home country. But for Mo and Franz, this is literally the gym they grew up playing in. And so I can only imagine what that feeling is going to be like for them stepping on the home floor today.
Yeah, being able to hear them in practices this week. I know Josh Cohen's been doing a great job out there getting us some sound of what the players are feeling, what they're saying. And both Franz and Mo said, it's super exciting, but they said it feels surreal because this is the first time that they've been able to go and represent the NBA in their home country, let alone their home city, their hometown, their home arena. And that's something that Mo was emphasizing even after the game on Sunday, that this was the home from them when they first were playing growing up. They got to play there for the national team, and now they're playing for the NBA. So it's really cool to see their perspective of everything. Franz has been really great talking about not only what it means for the Magic, what it means for the NBA, but what it means for German basketball as well, saying that when he was a kid, the NBA maybe felt a little bit farther away, being halfway across the world. But with social media now and having players like himself, Mo, Tristan da Silva, this new generation of German players, he's hoping that maybe it makes that gap a little bit closer.
Yeah, and we have limited amount of time today on Courtside Countdown presented by Hard Rock Bet. So touching on what's going on in Germany, we're touching on what's going on with Desmond Bane playing against his former team, the homecoming to the Wagners and Tristan da Silva. But most of all, and Mo Wagner said this himself, once that ball tips off, got to remember it is what it is. And this is a game, it's a business trip. And they're going to be going up against a Memphis team that's eager to rack up some wins. So looking at their roster, they're a little bit different with Ja Morant out. He is such a gravity type of player, as we talk about with Paolo. Same thing in terms of his electricity as he's coming to the basket, drawing so much attention. But there are also some additional Magic guys, Christy, in this one. Outside of Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to be the focal point with, averaging close to 20 points, 6 rebounds, and a block and a half per game. The Grizzlies still drafted Cedric Coward 11th overall in this draft, and they used the Magic's pick as part of the trade as collateral move up and get Coward. And, he's top 5 in both points and rebounds for rookies while shooting over 46% from the field. And then in addition to that, we also have former Magic player Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who's played in all 38 games for the Grizzlies this season, averaging close to 9 points per game. So there's still a nice amount of talent on this Grizzlies team.
Absolutely. You mentioned those 2 players there that were part of that Desmond Bane trade. And it's been interesting to see how that's going to play off, or not only for this year, but for those next couple of years. For Memphis, how they're able to prevent. And then you look at the Magic side. Obviously, Desmond Bane coming from Memphis. He played 5 seasons there, averaged almost 18 points per game. He played 313 games for the Grizzlies, and he was a really good shooter. That was why the Magic brought him in the first place. He shot over 40%, 7% from the field. He was a 41% career three-point shooter coming in. And that was something that the Magic, they saw that. They wanted to bring him in, try and help that three-point shooting a little bit coming into the year. And his numbers so far have been pretty good. He's averaging over 19 points per game. He's 45% from the field in 40 games played. That three-point shooting, though, that's been the one thing about him, is that you see him start to get a little bit more comfortable. But you've seen this new era of Desmond Bane, when that 3 ball is not going, that he's going to go downhill and attack and get the floater, try and get a foul. That type of stuff is going to be really important. I think that 3 ball is going to come along, especially when you have Paolo back, you have Franz back now. You're going to see that starting lineup. We'll really get to see what Desmond Bane truly holds. He's been the one consistent for this team the entire season, playing in all 40 games. It's going to be exciting to see how he continues to play with a little extra motivation playing against his old team.
Yeah, no, I thought one of the interesting stats is he is well on his way, maybe by, 10, 20 games from now, to already have eclipsed his driving point total from all of last season. So it just shows you the way teams are guarding him and take the 3 ball away. But he's basically effective, nearly averaging 20 points per game. Chrissy, before, you have to get into your pregame duties and do all that stuff with the Magic Audio Network, just take us through what do you think the keys for the Magic are going to be today going up against the Grizzlies?
I think if you can get Franz involved early, you saw that Magic do that on Sunday with Mo when he came off of the bench. You saw him trying to get him a little bit more comfortable. That's going to be very important just to get Franz up to speed with everything. I saw some people asking if he's going to be on a minutes restriction. I think that'll be pretty likely coming into this game, but getting him a little bit more comfortable and acclimated to the team is going to be really important. And I want to see this team defend down low. I mean, the Memphis Grizzlies, they're a good rebounding team. That's one thing about this team that's been a strength this year, but they're a little bit light on the center position. No Zach Edey today, no Brandon Clark, who've both been out for some time. So it's a little bit of a lighter position at the center position. Wendell Carter Jr. said coming into today's game after he sat out on Sunday that he's feeling good. He got a lot of treatment and he's ready to rock and roll. I want to see him get involved, Luis Rosario. Double Dell. I know he's been commenting that all through the YouTube chat, and I think that's going to be really important. They can establish some dominance on the glass and on the paint. That's going to be another big key for this team tonight.
All right, Chrissy, take us through where everybody can hear you, Jake, Brandon Kravitz, and the gang today for the audio network for today's game.
Absolutely. We'll be starting in just about a half hour from now, 1:30. You can listen on 96.9 The Game, the Orlando Magic app, NBA League Audio Pass, and Sirius XM. Brandon Kravitz will have the pregame and postgame show for you. Jake Chapman will be here doing the play-by-play, and I'll be in the background making sure it all sounds good. So should be an exciting one today, and hopefully we'll get a Magic win.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Magic Courtside Countdown presented by Hard Rock Bet. As a reminder, today's broadcast will be on FanDuel Sports Network starting at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also watch it nationally on Prime Video, and you're going to want to make sure to do that because they're going to have a lot of special nuggets for you, a lot of behind-the-scenes access in interviews from over in Berlin as he gets set for a 2-game slate against the Grizzlies today and an upcoming Sun matchup against Grizzlies in London. We'll be back then for another edition of Courtside Countdown presented by Hard Rock Bet. And until then, we'll see you next time.